All right. Don't rip the pants. Sitting down. We're at the Gravity Group booth. I actually thought Michael was going to be joining in the interview, but apparently he's not. So I'm here by myself talking about their boat train. All right. So this is Michael, everybody. He's the principal. Principal?
One of the principals.
One of the principals.
Yes.
I didn't even look. I just remembered the title from a couple years ago.
Yeah, engineer and principal is one of the phrases that we have.
All right.
So, owner, principal, all that kind of stuff. So
we have normal titles this year. Before I've been like the executive synergist and things like that. Now I'm just the on-air talent. But we're talking about this train. It's a boat. It's pretty fancy.
It's hard to say. Like, it could be a car because it's a coaster car. It's a coaster train, and then it's a coaster ship. So, yeah, this is the concept that we came up with. We've had a lot of inquiries about various types of, seafaring, themes of rides. And so we thought we'd kind of, to make that concept a little bit more concrete, to give them kind of a canvas. And we actually intentionally didn't make it a specific, say, pirate ship or, something like that, because it's kind of a canvas for people to create their own, Kraken coming over the side.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But, we want to give them kind of that old style ship with the mermaid and, kind of feel for the ride.
I look at the barrels and I'm thinking rum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely like a rum themed.
Yeah, those were 3D printed barrels. The mermaid was 3D printed, and then we sent a carved foam sculpt or a carved foam piece to our sculptor, who then took it and kind of went awesome.
Oh, I mean, it looks awesome. So not on a specific coaster yet, but it could be.
Yes,
could be. I mean, you guys had the dinosaur concept one year, and then a couple years later, Rollercoaster came out. So
exactly.
So like that's the idea, is people walk by and they're like, ooh, that's really fancy, really looks good. And then suddenly we're building another Gravity Group at Fun Spot or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty cool. So what have you been up to?
Okay, so currently we're working on 2 large projects. One in China that we can't say anything about, and also one in Australia that has been announced. Leviathan at SeaWorld Gold Coast in Australia. Both of those projects we're working with Barton of London's rides on. And Leviathan is very special because it has a backwards car at the end of the train.
Oh, backwards.
So yeah, that's going to be really exciting. And what's really cool is the concept, the art that I'm seeing on the train. It hasn't been finalized yet, but it's going to be pretty awesome, particularly because we have a nose car on the front and a nose car in the back. Both have theming canvases to work with.
That makes sense because it's like a Leviathan, like a dragon-like thing, so it all works out really well. I'm really curious about how we're going to take a Leviathan wooden roller coaster and turn it into, or a wooden coaster and turn it into a Leviathan. But I'm excited, although I've never been to Australia. What's it like in Australia?
I have not been either. I know this area of the park is Atlantis themed, so there's multiple ride installed in this section of the park, so it's all, aquatic, underwater kind of theme. So
makes sense. Are you going to get out there at some point?
I am planning on it. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to that flight?
Not really.
Yeah.
I've heard it's either 16 or 20 hours or something like that. I've taken plenty of flights to China, and those are 13 or so.
That's true.
But it's like once you're like half hour into the area, you're like, here's another 13 hours.
Yeah, here we go. And it's like
with all my buddies.
You're sitting there, and then suddenly they serve breakfast, and then they serve lunch, and then they serve dinner, and then you get breakfast again, and you're like, oh, it's been a long day. Yeah.
And they're like, wait, when was I supposed to sleep? I don't remember.
Yeah, you just kind of sit in the chair.
Yeah.
But what's great is while you're on the chair, you could watch all of these videos of like previous In the Loop Gravity Group interviews and whatnot.
That's just true. That I haven't thought about that. I should do that.
I mean, there's that half an hour ordeal with about cups.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big deal.
That's probably legendary. You guys probably still make fun of me for that one.
We referenced that the other day in conversation, just like a day or two ago.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we were talking with Clint, and we were talking about podcasts and stuff, and that came up.
I imagine people come up to you and be like, "Oh man, you guys had the conversation about cups. Well, this would look great on a cup."
Well, of course it would look great.
Well, really, ultimately, any Timberliner train is going to look good on a cup.
True, that's true. You know what though is I actually have a mug that it was actually the rendering of Boardwalk Bullet was actually, they wrapped that rendering around. So there is kind of a ride on the cup, and there's other cups that have stuff out there too.
Yeah.
But, it's a lot of fun. Hey, I want to tell you about something else too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So over here we have a water dummy, and the Timberliner test dummy had its debut on Fun Spot, Mind Blower in Kissimmee, and these are actually available for sale in grouping with. There's a company that makes pretty much all of the bridge brakes internationally called Costa. They're local to Cincinnati, where we are. And so they also supply tons of mechanical stuff behind the scenes, lifts, lift systems, chains, motors, all that kind of stuff. And so we've actually teamed up with them to create an online portal to order all of the spare parts and all that kind of stuff all online finally. So instead of having to pick up the phone call, with everybody these days in these generations, we just want to order stuff at night at 2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
and get it in a couple of days or the next day. So we're enabling them, or enabling all the maintenance people to order this stuff in a much more effective, efficient way. So that should really help out a lot of things. But we also have a lot of roller coaster stuff that's on there too. Track bolts, track lubrication. So if you go to rollercoasterparts.com, that's the latest and greatest site. It was launched yesterday.
So basically what you're saying is you're creating the Amazon of roller coaster maintenance section.
That's the goal, yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at your Timberliner dummy here, and it
don't look at him. He's self-conscious.
He is self-conscious. I'm looking at she. Oh, we don't know. We got.
Or is it a non-binary?
We can't be gender specific.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, friend.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the top, and it looks like it could turn into a water bottle. Like if I was really thirsty, I feel like I could.
So this is filled with water and really strong.
Yeah.
There was actually some discussions about various types of alcoholic liquid mixes that could be filled up with this, and I believe that there's a market for various either fruity drinks or kegs. This could definitely create a quite an experience to drink out of somebody's leg. So.
Yes, and also we might have to cut this part out, but sometimes these coaster boys get kind of lonely, and we gotta.
It's a gender neutral.
It's a gender. But it's amazing. We're very strong, but this is full of. This is definitely a full
water dummy.
Full water dummy here.
It's not really full of water.
Well, don't call it a dummy.
What's that?
Don't call it a dummy.
Don't call it a dummy. Yeah.
Yes.
Just call it something else. You know what? I think we need to coin a term collectively about what this thing should be called instead of dummy.
We could call it an intern.
A test intern.
A test intern.
Hey, can you bring all those
interns over?
Interns over here?
Yeah.
Okay. I like to have 3 things when I'm doing brainstorming, so you got to come up with 3 options.
We got to come up with 3 options. Okay.
Figurine, maybe.
Figurine, mannequin, a legend.
A legend. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, the legend. That actually works well. These are test legends.
Test legends. I like that.
I can see that. So we don't want to put them on the steering wheel because that's not.
No. But
now we can't see anything.
But that's okay. It probably makes the interview more beautiful.
Girl, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I like the orange color. Orange is one of my favorite colors, it's probably why I really like the folks at Gravity Group, because they always rock orange ties.
Yeah.
You guys had the bright orange ones a couple years ago, and now we're in this. We got orange chairs.
Yeah, we got a lot of orange panels. Yeah. The logo, of course, is orange.
Yeah. So I rode Oscar's Wacky Taxi, and
nice. Not orange.
It's green.
Yeah.
But when are we getting the orange Gravity Group?
That's a great question. Yeah. I don't really know the answer to that question because that would look pretty awesome, though.
It would. Oscar was a blast, though. It was amazing watching the little children on that ride flying up in the air, and then the mom being like terrified.
Yeah.
It was great. But had a blast on that. Really, I can't say I've had a bad ride on any sort of Gravity Group.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say I got a Mind Blower in my backyard. Love that guy.
Nice. Nice.
It's open till midnight every night, so it's awesome. So roll up there at like 11:30 and get a couple of rides on that. Yeah, it's mind blower. And I mean, Fun Spot's got their refillable beer cup. It's like $2 for a beer, and then you can ride Mind Blower a couple times. Got the inversion.
So is it better with or without alcohol?
It's both great.
Okay.
Although this is going to sound really strange, and maybe you as the principal and designer can explain this one to me. That ride is the best ride I've ever ridden when it's cold. So on a nice chilly Florida, like 40-degree night, that ride is amazing and there's nothing like it.
Huh.
And I can't explain why it's so dramatically amazing on a cold night, but it is.
I've never heard that. Usually when cold happens, the ride goes a little bit slower and the cushions feel a little harder, but that's interesting.
Yeah, no, we...
the next 40-degree night I have down here, I'll make sure I go ride it.
Make sure you check it out. No, it's amazing.
So what's your favorite seat in the ride?
Well, so I definitely like the back row, but I like the back row on the left side, because then you're coming down off the zero G roll, and you've got the support structure that looks like it's going to smack you in the face. But most of the time, Fun Spot makes me sit on the back right, because the operator sits right there, so they don't want to open up both lap bars, so they only open up this side. So I normally sit in the back right.
They know the operators pretty well over there?
You know, it's a rotating cast, but usually by the end of the night I end up knowing them pretty well, because me and a couple friends will hang out there for like a nice hour and a half. And sometimes I think they like it, and sometimes they're like, every other ride is like cleaning up for the end of the night, and we have these two idiots still riding. But you know, that's what happens when you build an awesome ride. You get to ride it over and over and over again.
It's the most accessible of our rides.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's like the opposite extreme of Sesame Place, where that's in Philadelphia. It's kind of an expensive single price ticket. It's the only park, only ride in the park that's kind of worth riding. Well, your Crowfish Vapor Trail is pretty fun too, but yeah, it's quite a little project to get to just by itself.
Yes. So fun story. When I rode it, I actually flew into Long Island and like road tripped over there to get to Sesame Place. We were on our way to Pittsburgh, and we just were like, oh, we got to go past Sesame Street or Sesame Place, so we had to ride Oscar, because the car was adorable.
It is. It's the most adorable car we've ever done.
Yeah.
Still to date.
Do you ever think you're going to top that?
And adorability.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure what other adorability rides will come down the pike. I think there's different scales of different rides. I think the airplane kind of had its like awesomeness in itself.
Yeah.
Like just I don't know, it just kind of captured something. I think particularly I'm fond of the silver one. Mm-hmm. There's something really awesome about it. But I think I don't know, I think all of our friends have a really special place. It's just, as far as cuteness goes, Oscar was the cutest.
Yes. I know, opposite of cuteness, we were commenting on the one with the saw blade, the one up in France somewhere.
Yep.
That one looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, that one is probably the most potentially dangerous one that we've done.
Well, we don't want to say anything's potentially dangerous.
Potentially dangerous is fine, as long as it's not dangerous.
Yes. It's true. I mean,
roller coasters are potentially dangerous. That's the whole goal of them.
Yes.
They're just not.
Yeah, that's true. You want to have some sort of risk of fear. I mean, you want to have some sort of risk of fear.
Absolutely.
If not, it would just be like sitting on a couch.
Exactly.
Which wouldn't be as adorable as Oscar's Wacky Taxi.
This kind of feels like sitting on a couch right now, though, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but normally I don't get interviewed sitting on my couch.
Well, usually I actually have a voice. Like, I lost my voice a couple days ago, so.
I'm right there with you. I was so glad that I wasn't the only one who's groggy, because every other interview, it's been like, I'm like struggling to keep my voice and whatnot, and now here we are, just wasting our lack of voices away.
Yeah, and wasting these people's time.
Yeah, that's okay. They have to listen to the whole thing, and then they edit it and all of that kind of stuff, versus I get to be the on-air extravaganza, yeah. I mean, my badge says on-air talent this year. Yeah, it's all good. Well, anything else you would like to plug or converse about or anything?
We're really slammed all through 2021, so we're expecting some really great things. There's some new stuff I'm really excited about telling people at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
As well, but so right now we're shopping rides for 2022, and we're having a lot of fun doing that. So
that's pretty exciting that you guys are already booked up for 2021 and going 2022. How many Give me that look if this is something you can't answer, but how many rides do you think you can build in a year?
We like to stick about 2 with our crew. Now, if we're doing one in Asia, we could add 1 or 2 to that as well, because Martin Fleming's has their own construction crew. We're kind of limited by the construction crews.
All right, fair enough. And that partnership obviously works really well with you guys.
Yeah. They're good in the international world of all the handling all the Asia stuff. They have some team members that are actually Chinese nationals, and so they can speak the language and handle all the sales all the way through the spare parts and stuff. So that works really quite well in that Asia market. Where over in Europe and here, it's a little bit more practical to do ourselves, particularly because it's kind of we need to be very, very competitive, and we really like dealing with the mom and pop parks.
Yeah. I think that's something that's really cool about Gravity Group, and I probably say this every couple of years. They go into a park and they basically turn the park into a park that people are like aware of maybe, and turn it into a place that people want to stop at. Yeah. So you did that with Waldemere, Holiday World, Mount Olympus, CDTs. Quasi, definitely Quasi. I grew up in New England, like 3 minutes away, and didn't know until Wooden Warrior came, and Wooden Warrior's great. Yeah. So, I mean, you could keep listing more. Rollercoaster up in Storyland. So it's just, it's really cool that you guys do that and you create that product that everyone wants to come ride. I don't know anyone who's like, Gravity Group, whatever.
Yeah, where we're at is we're trying to, on our radar is those parks that nobody knows about, that that have that potential market that would really do well with our kind of ride.
So like something like Central Park Funland.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's Funland.
Funland of Fredericksburg now.
Yeah.
They changed their name.
Yeah. Oh, we've been talking with Clint. He just doesn't have land right now, so we'll see.
We'll go underground.
Well, we've talked about that, and we obviously did that with Hades.
Yeah.
Half of the ride is almost underground, so we can do anything. We like challenges, and I think it's just a matter of time that a lot of these places will be like, okay, now it's time to really kick it up a notch, and we have the product that's just fantastic for the ages 4 to 94. So
yeah,
it's good.
As a new father, what is the lowest height requirement you guys got?
40 inch.
40 inches.
That's very short.
That is very short.
Average 4-year-old. My 3-year-old, actually, when we went to Sesame Place when it opened, my 3-year-old was 40 inches. And we decided cognitively that we should not have her ride that.
Yes.
So we told her that she couldn't ride, and she was very sad, but she wasn't quite ready for that kind of awesome airtime.
That time would be, yeah. I mean, my 8-month-old got to ride a roller coaster.
Oh, sweet.
And he probably was not ready for that either, but he looked like he was having fun and whatnot. But it's interesting being a parent and worrying about height requirements and all of that kind of stuff. Like he wasn't allowed to pet the kangaroos at Busch Gardens. Got to be 5 to pet the kangaroos. I thought that was interesting.
I guess the fingers are probably big enough to eat that.
Oh yeah, it's true. You could eat his whole hand.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want that. 10 years later, why do you only have one hand? Yeah, a kangaroo ate it.
Yeah, so fortunately, now 4-year-old, she was 43 inches this year, but she rode Kentucky Flyer with us.
Very nice.
So that was the last kid and the last, initiation into the riding a Gravity Group ride. So my 3 girls, my oldest is 10. So yeah, they're all roller coaster fans, fortunately. So
and especially wood coaster fans.
Yeah, well, I had put them on a wood coaster first, so their first coasters were all the Stricker Groves Teddy Bear. So it's a good ride. It's local to us in Cincinnati. We actually go there probably more than Kings Island, and it's a small coaster. Doesn't have airtime. Yeah, but that's okay. It's wood.
It's wood, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. So yeah, it's funny because like most kids talk about Kings Island rides, and our kids talk about Oscar's Wacky Taxi and Rorosaurus. And Teddy Bear.
I mean, it's true. It's exciting. Well, good luck to you guys.
Well, thanks. Thanks, Ed.
I'm really hoping we put a GCI, sorry, not that company. Ooh, bad. For Gravity Group here at Stricker Grove in the future.
Okay.
It'd be cool.
I think that's probably not going to happen. They just don't have that kind of budget. But that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be.
In fact, I'd probably say let me put it in a park that's open a few more days to the public a year, just so all of us can enjoy it more.
That's part of the appeal of Stricker's Grove, though, is that it's not open. It's like you can't come here. It's like Cartman Land from South Park. like you can't come. We have these rides, but you can't ride them.
Well, when you're in Cincinnati, you know people who have company picnics there. It turns out, like, I've learned a lot about Stricker's Grove in the last few years, just having stuff over there. But they're actually always, like, there's no openings in the future. Like, you can't just reserve a spot for next year, because that company who has that day has the first right to refusal for that spot. So they have that booked indefinitely unless they say no. So they have people on the waiting list to take those days.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, though. Like, a quick story here. So there's a lady named Kat Soderquist, and she's a coaster enthusiast. She's been around the world. She's super high count, and she actually just retired from teaching this year. So she had a retirement party there at Stricker's Grove like about a month ago, and it was pretty awesome. So she actually had the coasters rented out for that event for her.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it's like, that is Cartman land right there.
Yeah, that's Cartman land. That's pretty cool.
Actually, it would have been
Catwoman land.
Yeah.
But then Six Flags would get in the way and been like, that's our IP.
I forget what I don't think she calls herself Cat Lady. That'd be bad.
Yeah. Crazy cat lady.
I feel like I have like no peripheral vision because it's dummy here. So.
They don't want people walking up.
Look at how strong I am.
I'm impressed. You one-armed that full water legend.
Yeah, I've been working out.
Yeah, I mean, what is it, 300 pounds?
Yeah, actually 90 kilograms, so it's about 180 pounds.
Yeah.
190 pounds, so. Hey, buddy.
The internet's going to have no idea what just happened and why I made a face at somebody.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, it works out. Well, we should probably wrap this up.
I got nothing else. My voice is just about at zero.
Yeah, you should probably get a bottle of water or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably got some hidden back there, things like that.
I've got a couple things hidden back there, yeah.
Yeah, you got the celebration bottles in case you get those 2021 rides.
That's right. That's right.
All right. 2022 rides. 2021 is done. You are not getting a gravity group in 2021.
If you really need something done for 21, just still talk to us. Maybe we can, slide something in. But yeah, we're pretty slammed.
You're like December 2021.
Oh yeah, later 2021. Yeah, that's not a problem. We can do that.
That's fair.
I'll tell people that. It's like, as long as it's December.
Yeah, get those 365 parks.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right.
Cool, man.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much.